Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't make subscribe, please make subscribe for Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys have been urged to consider a former Indiana wide receiver who is called Aubrey Jr. The Dallas Cowboys have been urged to consider a former Indiana wide receiver Aubrey Jr. in round 1 of NFL Draft 2026. Although there are more needs on the defense, the Dallas Cowboys are being urged to consider Indiana wide receiver Aubrey Jr. In 2026 NFL Draft, with 2 picks in the first round of the upcoming NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys are expected to add another 2 defensive players. Following frustrating campaign where they struggled to stop opposing offenses, the Cowboys began to rebuild their defense under a new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker. Despite making a few additions during the offseason, Dallas still could use a more help at linebacker, edge, and cornerback. Even with a multiple needs all over the defense, head coach Brian Schottenheimer refuses to rule out the offensive playmaker in round 1. He believes that they did enough in defense to draft a based on a pure talent alone, and Dan Rogers on blogging the boys believes Indiana wide receiver Aubrey Jr. could be the best option for the Dallas Cowboys. What if the Cowboys keep trying to trade a back to get the next best defender, but they just end up collecting extra draft capital and settling on a wide receiver Aubrey Jr.? While drafting a wide receiver would be a surprising given the presence of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. So Rogers says Cooper would be a great fit in the Dallas for making their offense a nightmare looking at the current Cowboys roster. He would be fantastic additional to an offense that already features some high-level talent. CeeDee Lamb can do a little bit of everything and is the team alphas. And also George Pickens is a deep threat who also can co-alpha if needed. Rogers wrote on the DallasCowboy.com. So Cooper would create so many problems unless that defense would be at the loss on how to slow down the Cowboys offense. It would be a complete nightmare for opposing team. So the question that the fans are discussing is that, will the Aubrey Jr. help the Dallas Cowboys for long term? So the Cooper could provide the Cowboys with some insurance beyond this season. And the Dallas used the franchise tag on Pickens. Even if he signs it, there is no guarantee he will be on the roster beyond 2026. With a long outlook of Pickens still not set in stone, it could secure a Lamb sidekicks for the years to come, helping the offense to keep its boot on the gas while the defense is still under construction. It might not be the first choice, but adding a player like Cooper who can turn a small gain into a big play is never something anyone should shy away from. During his 4 seasons at Indiana, Cooper had 115 receptions for 1,798 yards and the touchdowns. His best campaign was 2025 when he helped a Hosien win a national championship, recording about 69 receptions and 937 yards in 13 touchdowns. And also the Dallas Cowboys is trading up to Ohio State a linebacker, Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles is arguably the best inside linebacker in the loaded draft class at the position. He will do the excellent pick if he were to fall to the Dallas Cowboys at number 12, but he can virtually guarantee that won't happen. Most mock drafts have either the New York Giants or Washington Commanders taking a Stylus in the top of 10. Stylus, who can and was one of the leaders of the stout Ohio State defense last season, has very few weaknesses. He recently visited with a Cowboys, prompting some speculation that Jerry Jones could have a trick up his sleeve. Stylus is a former safety who transitioned to linebacker in 2024 and he's excellent in coverage as a result. Unfortunately for the Cowboys, he will likely be out of their range at number 12 on Fanside's Code Williams projected style to go third overall to Washington via a trade with Arizona Cardinals. Sonny Styles was one of the flicks of the combine this year, which I back up a tape and in my opinion made him a top 5 picks. If the Cowboys complete a deal with off-season, the Cowboys wide Hidi Hanson believes that the franchise's of 29 years old All-Pro return specialist should be included. The Cowboys tried to expand a Talpin's lore in 2025 and in the same ways it worked and in other ways it failed. Hanson wrote a Monday, a Talpin posted a career member of the offense but miscue and drops were a little throughout. His return ability also suffered with a Talpin collecting uncharacteristic penalties and perceived a loss of confidence along the way, even coming off a down year. A Talpin is highly valued around the NFL. His game-breaking speed is unmistakable, and with a contract that runs through 2027, he should garner a pretty decent return from a team looking for a choice. The Cowboys may not to lose him in their return game, but offensively they can take the hit in the Dallas Cowboys. Talpin isn't a terrible wide receiver, but he is far more dangerous as a kick returner. The TCU product exception acceleration commitment to allowing his blocker to create a clear crisis and situation awareness allow him to sleeve during a kickoffs. Talpin finished the 2025 and 2026 season with 1,814 yards and 1 touchdown, earning him a second-team All-Pro honor. It's safe to assure a potential Cowboys trade sweeter who would be interested in acquiring Talpin's making it logical to consider featuring him in the off-season trade. The Dallas Cowboys and team owner Jerry Jones have gone quietly in the second wave on the National Football League free agencies. The Dallas Cowboys, after making a few solid moves in the first wave, there are still questions that need to be answered about the roster. As entering in 2006 NFL offseason, the Cowboys were expected to be very aggressive. Jones made it clear that he was willing to spend a big money in order to make a Super Bowl push. So far, what hasn't happened this offseason? While the 2006 NFL draft lie around the corner latest this month, a Dallas Cowboy will have a chance to add two elite young players in the first round. The Cowboys hold their own number 12 overall picks, while also having the Green Bay Packers first round picks at number 12 due to a Micah Parsons trade last offseason. A new mock draft from ESPN have been released now. That mock draft has a Dallas using a player number 12 overall picks to upgrade its pass rusher. The Dallas Cowboys connected to a major defensive additions. In ESPN's new mock draft, Phil Yates was in charge of making the Cowboys' first selection at number 12. He has the team scooping up a Miami Hurricanes standout pass rusher Ruben Bain. The mission to fix the Cowboys' defense should start with addition of a Bain. Yates wrote, the ACC defensive player who could player of the year has a hand of destruction that will travel to the NFL. And he had 9.5 sacks last season for the Hurricanes. Ben would be an instant upgrade for the defense that could use a better pass rusher. Even after acquiring a Rashan Gary in a trade with a Packers, a Dallas could use a help. During 2025 college football season with the Hurricanes, Ben was a big part of the season and they made a run to the national championship. They didn't win a championship, but that didn't take away from Ben's impressive season. He racked up 54 total tackles to go along with 9.5 sacks, a forced fumble, an interception, and a defended pass. Through 33 years career at Miami, he totaled 121 tackles and 20.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles and interception, and 2 defended passes. Jerry Jones is still away from a Super Bowl contention. At this current point in the time, the Cowboys do not take the part of the top tries Super Bowl contender. They have improved with addition of the Gurley, a safety Jalen Thompson, and a cornerback Kobe Durant. But no blockbuster move have been made to drastically improve the team. No one can count a Dallas out. Anything can happen during the course of the NFL season. However, it appears that Jerry Jones has more work to do. Also, The Dallas Cowboys, one of the main storyline of the 2026 NFL offseason was a Max Crosby of the Las Vegas Raiders being available for a trade, and the Dallas Cowboys were one of the team in the hunt for the Max Crosby signings. Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones has expressed that the team was very serious about a signings of a Max Crosby on, and they made 3 trade offers. But instead, a Crosby went to the Baltimore Ravens only to fail his physical and come back to the Raiders. Now, Jerry Jones is talking about a Crosby again. The Ravens, of course, cited Crosby failed a physical as why they took back their offer to bring him to Baltimore. Speaking with reporters at the NFL Annual League meeting in Phoenix, Arizona, Jones basically said that a Crosby would have done the same things in the Dallas Cowboys. There is no hidden items there. You have got to pass physically, he said. According to the Las Vegas Review-Journal, we have never completed an agreement until the player passes the physical or fitness test, but we would have had the same conditions with a physical. Jones added, as you know, we were in one making an offer for him. He would have come to Dallas, and we will all just guess what would have happened. A Dallas Cowboy owner, Jerry Jones, and general manager gets awards after a Max Crosby comments made at the NFL League Marketing. As for those comments from Jerry Jones, Jerry Trotter of the Landry Hats says in Thursday, April 2, future that the bad faith crowd isn't going to enjoy leading that court. Jones didn't go as far as to say that a Dallas would follow the Baltimore leads. Trotter adds, but he didn't have to, and it makes you to wonder if the interested team would have done the same. Trotter goes on the comment on how the Ravens handled their situation and why it would be controversial, to put it light, it's things to back out a trade because failed a physical. What makes Baltimore look so shady in that they reportedly communicated with a free agent, Trey Hendrickson, before bailing on the Raiders. He says, of course, the team then signed a Trey Hendrickson